Welcome to Bible Study for Progressives, a show where moderates, liberals, and leftists of all faiths and ideologies come together to discuss Scripture, spirituality, and politics. We engage Scripture in its historical context, plumb its depths for wisdom and guidance, and apply its lessons to current events and social issues. Whether you're a liberal evangelical, a New Age spiritualist, a social justice activist, or a postmodern theologian, there's something in this show for you. Come, be energized in spirit and mind to understand the Word and what it means to be a spiritual person in today's world.
My name is Rich Procida. I'm with By the People, and we're a group of Orange County citizens and citizen groups here to demand a full and fair trial in the U.S. Senate on the matter of President Trump's impeachment. 3/4 of Americans want a fair trial in the Senate with witnesses and documents, but neither Republican leader Mitch McConnell nor President Trump have promised a full and fair trial. Republicans allege that the Senate procedures were unfair, but when given the opportunity to have a fair trial, they refuse to do so. The American people expect the president to defend himself against the allegations by producing the relevant documents and witnesses to the alleged misconduct. On the evening of Tuesday, December 17th, hundreds of people came out here in the city of Orange and also in Irvine and Brea to demand that the House impeach President Trump and that the Senate conduct a fair trial. In over 600 cities across the country, people came out to support impeachment and to demand a full and fair trial. The American people will not tolerate a show or sham trial. The president stands accused of undermining our democracy by blackmailing a foreign leader to announce a sham investigation of his political opponent. He then refused to produce the witnesses and documents that would prove his guilt. We will not allow our nation to devolve into a dictatorship where the president is free to do whatever he wants without oversight or accountability. We live in a constitutional democracy. To preserve our democracy, we must defend the Constitution. The Constitution provides for a system of checks and balances. Under the Constitution, the House of Representatives has the sole power to impeach the president. The president has the duty to comply with subpoenas. He is not above the law. Now we have a number of representatives from groups in Orange County who would like to speak as well. Dr. Bill, you want to go first?
Sure. All right, well, thank you, Rich. I think you want to move it closer. And thanks, everybody, for being here today. My name is Bill Honigman. I'm a retired emergency room physician here in Orange County. I've practiced for over 37 years. And also an organizer for the group Progressive Democrats of America, PDA. We stand for the progressive values that most people in this country now have and similarly support. And we proudly support those progressives in Congress, but also at the state and local level, in particular, both inside and outside the Democratic Party. We're outraged that this president, number one, got into office at all. He's actually an illegitimate president. And as far as we're concerned, no president should be installed in office who has violated campaign finance laws, as well as emoluments, personally profiting off of his position, which he does over and over and over again. But beyond that, certainly it's an outrage that this president has abused his position of power on many levels, and in particular now has committed the obstruction of justice, both in the investigations that took place by a special prosecutor, as well as currently his obstruction of Congress and the proceedings there. And he has Trump-Publican enablers in the Senate, most certainly in the form of Mitch McConnell, who will, as he says, he's the angel of death for any kind of legislation that actually moves this country forward. And now he's the angel of death in terms of creating a fair process for the impeachment, which has already taken place and is rightfully now should go to the Senate for a fair trial. Mitch McConnell, just like the president himself, and just like any one of us who hold a seat of public office, has sworn to defend the Constitution, and the Constitution itself requires a fair trial to take place over whether this president should be removed or not. So we demand that Mitch McConnell move toward having the witnesses who actually heard the president violate the law, have those witnesses allowed, as well as the rest of the evidence that's been procured in the process. So as Rich says, we're here at Orange City Hall, where citizens of and residents of this area have come previously to demand or show their demands as well. We intend to come back again and again until we have a fair a small d democratic process take place as regards this president. Thank you all once again for being here and showing your support as well. Thank you.
I'm Fran Sosa from RefuseFascism.org, a national organization with a chapter here in Orange County. In January 2020, we have woken up to a world with a greatly heightened danger of a devastating war between the U.S. and Iran, with all of the potential that carries for world war, with powers with horrific nuclear capabilities. What is this telling us? That it's all the more urgent that Trump and Pence, their whole fascist regime with all of its program, must be removed. We cannot wait. We cannot simply sit around and rely on, oh, we're just going to wait until the elections in 2020. We are staring in the face of a regime which is hell-bent on implementing fascism and a social movement hell-bent on white supremacy as the law of the land. And these war moves in the Middle East are all part and parcel of it, both as a way of possibly rallying the American people around the war in the Middle East, and even the possibility of declaring martial law. So we cannot sit around and wait. We must move forward. And there are many examples, positive examples of people in the world that have taken down a regime intent upon staying in power. We can look, just for an example, at South Korea, Hong Kong, Puerto Rico, where millions of people created a political crisis by going into the streets, taking to the streets, and staying in the streets in a sustained, nonviolent way, and creating a crisis which forced those at the top to abandon the leader. In this case, that we were hoping, forcing the Democrats to move decisively, and forcing Republicans to, like rats, flee the sinking ship and leave Trump. So we are calling, Refuse Fascism and many other organizations, calling for people to protest under the joint slogans of no war in Iran and Trump Pence out now. So here I would like to just point out this. I've been carrying this poster for 3 years. In Arabic, it says, no, we refuse to accept a fascist America.
Well, I am Jonathan Adler, and I'm coordinating with a whole bunch of clubs, Democratic clubs and other clubs, a sign-on letter, a fill-in letter to our two senators, Feinstein and Harris, and to Schumer and Durbin, and to Representatives Speaker Pelosi and Hoyer and our OC reps, thanking them for their stand for a full, fair, and impartial trial in the Senate with witnesses and documents, and urging them to stay firm. And I have a folder full of letters that were collected just a couple of nights ago from the Democrat Club of West Orange County, and about every night this week we're offering this to other clubs, and also as a resolution of the Democratic Party of Orange County. And it raises some of the claims, the false claims of Senators McConnell and Graham, and responds not just in our voice, but in the voices of Alexander Hamilton and James Madison and other of our framers. And that we quote, and their assumptions about the Senate as what they call a court of impeachment are quoted from the Federalist Papers and the accounts of the Constitutional Convention debate. So that's it in a nutshell, and we will have many more of these letters filled in and signed by members of these clubs as the week goes on. Thank you very much.
So you've heard from all these groups. We need to contact our senators to make sure that they know that we demand a fair trial. We have a right to a fair trial. There's no reason that we should be denied a fair trial with witnesses and documents. The Republicans have complained about the trial not being fair, but look at what they do when they have the power to conduct a trial. They don't even want to conduct one. Now, join one of these groups, Progressive Democrats of America. Join your local Indivisible group or Democratic Club or Social Justice. Contact your senators. A president who refuses to submit to congressional oversight is a threat to our democracy. Anyone who stands accused of misconduct yet refuses to produce the documents and witnesses demanded by Congress cannot be our president. Our democracy depends on the president's respect for constitutional oversight. A president who refuses to cooperate with constitutionally mandated oversight is unfit to hold office. And we need to be aware that this attempt at war is an attempt to distract us from his problems and from the fact that he has violated the law and needs to stand trial. Thank you for watching. Good enough?
Yeah, very good. Very nicely done.
Did you get this signed in the whole thing?
Let's get ours.
This has been Bible Study for Progressives. If you enjoyed the program, please subscribe to our podcast or put us in your favorites and write a 5-star review. Tell your friends about us and share us on social media. Follow us on Facebook and click the donate button at modernlectionaries.blogspot.com. Your support will help us reach more people, produce more and better shows, and cover the cost of production. Feel free to send me a note or comment on the show. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, this is Rich Procida. Thank you for listening.